Hello, students of Education 108, Professor Cabral's class. My name's Jonathan Cope, and what I'm going to be doing today is really briefly taking you through how to access online resources in education from the CSI library. One of the things I always say whenever I do one of these sessions, whether it's in person and now I'm repeating it here in the kind of virtual world, is that this is only an introduction, and that really the best way to learn how to do this is by doing the searches yourself. And always, if you only take away one thing from this session, it's that if you have a question, one thing, that's ask a librarian, all right? Now, one of the first things that you want to get sorted out is your access to the databases from off campus. So first of all, make sure as a student you have your / username and password set up. Because you'll see this when you're off campus and you click on a link trying to get access to one of the resources and articles that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and you just got to make sure you've got this set up so you can access from off campus. All right, we should be good to go. Anyways, so I see that you are researching different educational methods. For example, Reggio Emilia, Montessori, or Waldorf. Right? These are different kind of approaches to early childhood education, and you can do a search. As you can see here, I did a search earlier about sushi because it's a good food. But what I'm going to do right now is try to do a search about Waldorf. So if I know I'm interested in Waldorf education, I think that's kind of a specific term. And as you can see, I'm going to start here where it says books and articles on the library's homepage. Now, this is this thing called OneSearch. Basically, it's a federated search engine, and what that means for you is that it searches everything the library has, right? You got books, you've got articles, you've got encyclopedias, reference sources, newspapers, documents posted to the institutional repository, just everything that the library has, right? It's sort of a one-stop place to begin your search. So that's great because you can enter your search term and you're going to get a lot of results. But as we can see, that's also brings with it some issues, right? So for example, I found, just by typing in Waldorf, 63,000 results in the CSI library, which is on one hand is encouraging because I know I have a lot of results, but at the same time, I would say unlike a search in something like Google, when we're doing a kind of research paper in a discipline, for an academic paper, that's actually too many results, right? We know that our search has gotten, I think, too big, too broad, and we have to think of other ways to approach it. So right here, right away, if I don't know anything about this method, I could go to what's called a reference entry, right? A reference entry are things like encyclopedias, dictionaries, kind of reviews, or things that synthesize a lot of different information and create it something that's very accessible to you to kind of give you an introduction. So I would say a reference work, if you don't know anything about the subject, is a great place to begin. It's not kind of peer-reviewed scholarly research, but it is a great way to get a foothold when you're sort of exploring a topic that is unfamiliar to you, right? You guys use Wikipedia, right? You Google. This is a kind of more credible and rigorously kind of evaluated reference source that could supplement Wikipedia. And more importantly, the kind of thing most of your professors would be okay with you citing in a paper, so long as they don't require peer-reviewed or scholarly research, right? So, again, if I want the full text, it's available online. You see it's virtual reference, and it's available in the CSI collection. I can click on this link up here, and we can just go down through here, and it's got a list of contents and everything you would need to know about the publication. So we could search within the publication for Waldorf. And sometimes you got to take an extra step to find the full text of the article. And you can see right here, it gives you a very concise, I think, fantastic overview of the sort of educational concept and everything you need to know, kind of to begin understanding the educational method. But let's say, for the sake of argument, and I'm sure for this paper, that that's not enough, right? We need to find more. And I would want to go back to my list of results and get more specific. So what I'm going to do here is, you see there's something called advanced search. I would recommend you use it and befriend advanced search because it makes your life much easier, right? Because again, when we're dealing with sort of an academic search, specificity is really what we were looking for here, right? So one of the things you'll notice if I scroll down here, right, is that I'm going to see stuff about the Waldorf. What's that? Food Lover's Companion in New York City? I don't know about that. Doesn't sound like our subject, right? And especially if you go down here where it says topic subjects, you'll see something for hotels and motels. So apparently there's, the Waldorf Astoria is a fancy hotel, or that you may have heard of. And it has nothing to do with Waldorf education, or so far as I know. Maybe there's some connection that I'm ignorant of. Anyways, I want to do Waldorf and education. And I can click on this, and now everything I'm going to get deals with Waldorf and education, which is pretty good. Another thing I can do that I think we really want to think about is limit this to subjects, right? Because one of the things I want to do, right, because we see I got 13,000 results with Waldorf and education, which is pretty good. But it's not quite as narrow as I would say want to, right? So for example, someone's last name was Waldorf in the author field, you would get that result, right? So let's just try that. And once again, as you can see, the more specific I get, the fewer results I get, and that the easier it will become, the more to sort through these results. Okay, so as you can see, I just did a search with the subject Waldorf and education in the second field, and I'm down to 104 results. Now, do I need peer-reviewed journals? I can click on this, and you see where it says apply filters. When I click on apply filters, there we go. Woo! I'm down to 40 results, so 48 results. So I've got 48 peer-reviewed journals. Yay! Which means that I think that's a perfect kind of number of search results, right? That means that I have plenty of articles to go through. I'm not going to run out of articles, but at the same time, I can click through 48 and make a determination as to whether or not they're going to be good for my paper, right? 13,000, I don't have time, I can't do it, right? So again, just as I was sort of explaining before, we go through these different journal articles, right? There's something called Waldorf Education as Spiritual Education, so religion and education. That's sort of interesting, right? International Journal of Children's Spirituality, Enlivening Thinking and Speech in Search of Spiritual Identity. So these are all, and you can see they're all peer-reviewed and online. What do you think? Yeah, so we've got a bunch of stuff here. Oh, student self-efficacy for science in different school systems. So let's take a look at this. So this is pretty solid journal of research. I don't know, but then again, why it got Waldorf. So, I think they're all over the place. Let's just pick, this one looks good. I'm going to pick, it says it's available online, so I'm going to click on that link. You see it's going to redirect me here. And we see a lot more kind of important information. You see right here when I was talking about subject headings, these are the specific words or terms that the people who have maybe authored the article or placed them in the database have used to describe the subject content of the article. What that means for you is once you figure out a good subject term, it will really help you with your next search, your subsequent searches, right? Because now I know, oh, maybe I didn't know Rudolf Steiner was the originator of the kind of Waldorf concept. So I could do Steiner's Waldorf education. Spiritual identity, maybe that's something I'm thinking about. I don't know. But this gives you a lot more information to go with, right? It's what's called the database. If a database uses a set of controlled vocabulary, it's called a thesaurus. But much like the kind of common thesaurus, you know, if you're looking for synonyms, sort of other words or terms to use for your search, you're stumped. Looking at the subject headings of one of the articles that's kind of on target is a good step. Anyways, academic search complete. I could click on that, and what this will do, again, make sure you have your / username and password, is that it will redirect you to the full text of the article in the database, and you see it's right here. So I've clicked on that, and it's sort of taken me here, and we see I get the full text of this article, and I can click right here on PDF full text, and it will open up. Sometimes it takes a few seconds, but we're happy. And here we go. And you're good to go. You've got a peer-reviewed article about Waldorf education in a peer-reviewed journal that you found from the CSI library. You know, there's a lot more that I could discuss in relation to this. There are many, the facets are many, but I would say that this is much more an art than it is a science. The more you do it, the easier it's going to get. So just keep at it. And as always, if you have any questions, please contact the librarian, right? Feel free to contact me or any other librarian you can. The CSI library has a 24/7 chat feature on the home page. So really, if there's something you need, a question you have, you know, please ask. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you through this process. You know, I know we're all learning how to do research remotely, how to work remotely. It's a new world, but we're here to help you in whatever ways we can sort of get through this, and we're all doing our best. All right. Anyways, thank you very much. I'm Jonathan Cope, and I'm helping out, and see you soon.